Right now, you are looking at the largest landfill on the planet. Floating in the open ocean between California and Hawaii, its surface area is 3 times the size of France. Yet this is merely the visible tip of the catastrophe. Every single minute, an amount of plastic equivalent to an entire garbage truck is dumped into the ocean. Microscopic particles of this debris have already been discovered at the deepest point on Earth, the Mariana Trench, in Arctic ice, and right now, they are circulating through your veins. The ocean grants us every second breath we take, regulates our climate, and feeds 3 billion people. And right now, it is suffocating. We are used to hearing apocalyptic predictions that by 2050, there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish. But what if I told you that the greatest eco-catastrophe in human history has just passed its turning point? Right before our eyes, the most massive engineering and biological operation in history is unfolding. We are on the brink of deploying colossal floating interceptors, engineering artificial plastic-eating bacteria, and passing unprecedented global laws capable of restoring the ocean to its pristine purity. Today, we break down how exactly we poisoned the ocean, what humanity has already done to save it, and the brilliant plan for its restoration awaiting us in the coming decades. To cure a patient, you must first make an accurate diagnosis. When people hear about ocean pollution, they picture floating plastic bottles. But the world ocean faces 3 severe diagnoses. Diagnosis 1: plastic infarction. Roughly 11 million tons of plastic enter the water annually. But the real danger isn't the sturdy bottles. It's what they degrade into under UV light and wave action: microplastics. Particles smaller than 5 millimeters absorb toxins like a sponge. Fish mistake them for plankton and swallow them, passing this chemical cocktail right up the food chain to our dinner plates. Diagnosis 2: chemical hypoxia. Nitrates and phosphates washed off agricultural fields flow into rivers and out to sea, triggering massive algal blooms. As these algae die and decay, the decomposition process drains the water of oxygen. This gives birth to dead zones, vast stretches where no marine life can survive. Today, there are over 500 such dead zones globally. Diagnosis 3: acidification and overheating. The ocean absorbs roughly 30% of human-emitted carbon dioxide. The chemical reaction between CO2 and seawater creates carbonic acid. As the water grows more acidic, corals and shellfish literally lose the ability to build their skeletons and shells. The Great Barrier Reef has lost more than half of its corals in recent decades. Have we simply stood by and watched this disaster unfold? No. Over the last 15 years, humanity has shifted from panic to action. Here are the major technologies and solutions currently working. First, the ocean cleanup and river interception. In 2013, an 18-year-old student named Boyan Slat declared he would clean the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Everyone called him crazy. Today, his System 03 is a kilometer-long barrier towed by ships that collects hundreds of tons of plastic in a single run. But the biggest breakthrough was realizing that 80% of ocean plastic originates from just 1,000 rivers worldwide. Slat's team created solar-powered interceptor barges that scoop up trash directly at river mouths before it ever reaches the ocean. Second, single-use plastic bans and microbead phase-outs. The EU, Canada, India, and dozens of other nations have passed laws banning single-use plastic straws, cutlery, and bags. Furthermore, a global ban was placed on plastic microbeads in cosmetics and scrubs, which previously washed down drains by the ton. Third, satellite tracking and fighting ghost nets. Abandoned or discarded fishing gear accounts for up to 46% of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Today, using satellites and AI, we can track fishing vessel movements in real time. Heavy fines have been implemented, while eco-organizations deploy underwater drones to retrieve thousands of kilometers of ghost nets, saving whales and sea turtles. Scooping up plastic with nets from the surface is like mopping the floor while the tap is still running. It helps, but it doesn't solve the core issue. A real revolution is taking place right now in genetic laboratories and next-generation marine farms. What if I told you that scientists accidentally mutated an enzyme capable of digesting a plastic bottle in hours rather than 500 years? What if supercorals, engineered in labs using CRISPR technology, are already capable of surviving ocean warming and acidification? Welcome to the second half of our battle for the ocean. Biotechnology, geoengineering, and international treaties that will reshape our planet over the next 20 years. Let's break down these solutions. First, plastic eaters and trash-devouring enzymes. In 2016, Japanese scientists at a bottle recycling facility discovered a unique bacterium, Ideonella sakaiensis. It evolved to use PET plastic as its sole source of carbon and energy. Today, genetic engineers have modified its enzymes to create a superversion called fast PETs. It can break down plastic into clean, raw components in just hours or days. The ultimate goal is to build bioreactors at recycling plants so plastic never has a chance to reach the water. Second, supercorals and 3D printed reefs. Marine biologists worldwide are breeding supercorals. Through selective evolution and gene editing, they cultivate species resilient to higher temperatures and acidity. Additionally, 3D printed bioceramic structures are being placed on the seafloor to attract coral larvae, accelerating reef growth up to 40 times faster than in the wild. Technology is vital, but without policy, it remains powerless. What global plans are set for the coming decades? First, the High Seas Treaty and the 30 by 30 target. For a long time, international waters were a wild west where dumping waste and overfishing went unchecked. In 2023, the UN adopted the historic High Seas Treaty. Its core target is 30 by 30, designating at least 30% of the world's oceans as fully protected marine sanctuaries by 2030. In these zones, industrial fishing, deep-sea mining, and commercial shipping will be strictly prohibited. Second, the Global Plastics Treaty. Under UN leadership, a legally binding document, similar to the Paris Climate Agreement, is being drafted specifically for plastic. For the first time in history, restrictions will apply not just to waste management, but to primary plastic production volumes by oil giants. Third, kelp farming as a climate solution. One of the most ambitious initiatives involves establishing vast offshore kelp and seaweed farms. Seaweed grows up to 30 times faster than land trees and sequesters massive amounts of carbon. Sinking harvested kelp into the deep ocean traps carbon for centuries and helps curb ocean acidification. It is easy to feel powerless when facing a global catastrophe, but consumer demand directly shapes corporate action. Vote with your wallet. Say no to unnecessary single-use plastics. Swap disposable bottles and cups for reusable alternatives. Check your seafood. Choose seafood certified by the MSC or ASC, ensuring it was harvested without destroying seafloor ecosystems or using drift nets. Filter household chemicals. Use biodegradable, phosphate-free detergents to avoid feeding toxic algal blooms in dead zones. But let's look beyond the horizon. What happens if all these technologies, international treaties, and our daily individual efforts actually succeed? What will the global ocean look like in the year 2050? This isn't just a utopian fantasy. It is a scientific scenario built on climate recovery models. First, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch will be entirely gone. Thanks to river interceptors and floating cleanup systems, the influx of new plastic will plummet by 90%, while the remaining debris is retrieved or broken down by bioenzymes. Second, marine ecosystems will experience a total reboot. Marine biologists project that if we successfully protect 30% of the ocean, fish and whale populations could recover to 19th century levels in as little as 20 to 30 years. The ocean possesses immense regenerative power. It simply needs us to step out of the way. And third, we will witness the rise of a true blue economy. The ocean will cease to be a victim of human activity and become our greatest partner. Offshore marine farms will supply the planet with sustainable protein, seaweed will replace petroleum-based plastics, and wave and tidal energy will power entire coastal megacities. We are standing on the threshold of an era where humanity transitions from ocean destroyer to ocean guardian. The ocean is not a bottomless dumping ground. It is a living, breathing organ of our planet. For too long, we treated it like a free landfill, believing it was too vast to break. We were wrong. Today, for the first time in human history, we have stopped merely taking and polluting. We are learning to heal the wounds we inflicted. The journey to ocean recovery will be long and difficult, but we have no alternative. By saving the ocean, we save ourselves. Which ocean-saving technology do you think holds the most promise? Share your thoughts in the comments, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel. See you on the next deep dive.